Wow. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
You want to put this back on there?
No, but it's too far.
Okay.
Absolutely, that was wonderful. And then let's move on. Slavery left a terrible stain on our county and our nation. The inhumane, undignified, and mistreating of African Americans at the hands of slave owners is the bedrock upon which this country was founded. But today, Juneteenth is about celebrating freedom for African Americans finally received when in the state of Texas only learned on June 19, 1865, after 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed and become the law of the land. And this is a history that needs to be told. And we need to make sure that these stories about cruel and inhumane treatment of African Americans in this country are not buried. We need to teach our young people. This is a very important moment in this country and in our county. I feel as an elected official, we have a responsibility to educate our future generations, our children and grandchildren, about this part of our country's history. As ugly as it gets, but we learn history so that we don't repeat the same mistake we made in the past. And absolutely, I just wanted to also say this, not coming from an African American background. This is a celebration for all of us. This is a victory for each and every one of them. Fort Bend County is the most diverse county. Fort Bend County is the most diverse county in the country, and we celebrate our diversity. And we acknowledge our mistake, learn from it so that we don't repeat that mistake. And that's my promise to you all. Last year, and I do, if you follow me on Facebook, last year our office wrote a letter to our congressional leaders to initiate some kind of, there were so many actions happen in the past, but initiate some kind of an action so that we could make Juneteenth as a national holiday. And you could go and check on my Facebook page. It's reposted yesterday. And today, we are standing here. Yesterday, President Biden signed that into law or declared Juneteenth is going to be a national holiday in our great nation. And I just wanted to say, there is a saying, leadership, and also standing up when it is not popular, and standing up alone and looking back, there is nobody behind you. And it is a hard one, but there are some people did for the sake of doing right, for justice, and also for human dignity. There are some people did that. We are going to recognize two of them today. And I just wanted to say the first person was instrumental in making Juneteenth a state holiday in state of Texas, and that is the activist and former state House Representative Al Edwards. Al Edwards helped, yes. Al Edwards helped Texas become the first state in the country to make abolition of slavery an official holiday. To receive this proclamation, we have Al Edwards' brother, and as you know, we are recognizing both these gentlemen. Unfortunately, both of them are not among us today, but they left their mark. But there is a saying, go there is no path, but leave a trail. These two people really left a trail behind them, and so that we could walk without much problem. And so I invite David Edwards to come forward to receive this proclamation. Thank you, sir.
Whereas Albert Al Edwards was born March 19, 1937, the sixth child of 16 children born to Reverend E.L. Edwards Sr. and Josephine Radford Edwards. He graduated from Phyllis Wheatley High School in Houston's Greater Fifth Ward. and later graduated from Texas Southern University in 1966. And whereas Edwards, who was first elected to represent parts of Houston in the State House of Representatives in 1978, served more than 30 years in the legislature. First until 2007, then again from 2009 until 2011. He worked tirelessly for the people of House District 146 in the state of Texas. And whereas Edwards, as a freshman state representative, authored a bill commemorating June 19th, 1865, the day slaves in Texas first learned that they had been freed under the Emancipation Proclamation. The legislation created a state holiday to mark the end of slavery in the United States. And whereas, on behalf of the county judge's office, we would like to recognize Al Edwards for his legislative accomplishments and activism in the state of Texas.
Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Let me just- Thank you, sir.
And so the next, okay. The next person is very close to, I'm sure almost everyone standing here. It's a very close to, and I had a privilege to work with him. And I tell you, when he went to Fort Bend ISD talking about Sugar Land 95, it was not a popular thing. He's been sent back many times, but somebody said he never go away. He just come back. And he did come back, and each and every time finally made that as an issue in Fort Bend ISD area, or even Fort Bend County for that matter. And so I just wanted to say it is an honor to recognize he's an activist and historian, Reginald Moore. He was committed to telling and sharing the history of African Americans in Fort Bend County. He believed in dignity for the deceased and wanted to educate the community on the impact of slavery and free labor. To receive this proclamation, we have Mrs. Marilyn Moore. Please join me, ma'am. Please come up.
Whereas Reginald Moore was born in Houston on September 14, 1959, and raised in 3rd Ward. He played football at Jack Yates High School, and after graduating in 1978, he attended college in Louisiana on a football scholarship. In his early career, Reginald Moore worked as a longshoreman at the Houston Ship Channel. He also became a guard for what was then the Texas Department of Corrections at Fort Bend County's Jester State Prison Farm. And whereas Moore's interest in Black history in Fort Bend County led him into activism and advocacy. In 2006, he founded the Texas Slave Descendants Society to bring more recognition to the state's history of exploiting Black labor and the resulting generational effects. And whereas in 2015, Rice University's Whitson Research Center acquired nearly 2 decades of Reginald Moore's community activism and historical research archives. He founded the Convict Leasing and Labor Project to restore the dignity of everyone forced into labor and their descendants. Specifically, the project aimed to preserve the Sugar Land 95's burial ground and ensure a proper memorial. Reginald Moore's advocacy contributed to the Texas State Board of Education approving an African American Studies elective course for high school students. So whereas, on behalf of the County Judge's Office, we would like to recognize Reginald Moore for his legacy of advocating for protecting the history and legacy of African Americans in the state of Texas.
It's absolutely an honor to present this to you, ma'am, and he was an amazing person, and he made definitely, I heard this proclamation saying now Fort Bend ISD have a study, a curriculum attached to it, and he spearheaded that. And so people will come when there is no path and leave trail. And this is another example of it. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. In the beginning, you heard that we are saying this is the first time we started celebrating this. Next time, it looked like we are going to move it to maybe fairground or something, because this is not, place is not going to be enough for the celebration, and we will do that. And so come to the, and I just wanted to let people know that beginning we said that we are going to make it a brief event, and so I just wanted to say thank you for being here, and I wanted to invite a couple of people. One is our very own Fort Bend County Commissioner, and he was here through a lot of incidents, and he's the person, when you go, if you go inside the courthouse, you will see the first African American commissioner's picture, Commissioner Taylor, and courtesy to Commissioner Grady Prestige, and he went and found that picture and put it there. And so he has seen the history, and he's very much involved with all this stuff. I wanted to invite our Fort Bend County Precinct 2 Commissioner Grady Prestige to make a small remark.
Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. I don't have a prepared speech. I only found out when I showed up that I was on the program. But I've been a county commissioner for 30 years, and if I can't do a 2-minute speech, then we have a problem. I'm happy to see all these people here. This is amazing. But I want each of you to just commit to making this more than just one celebration, one day, one hit or miss situation. We've got a wonderful county. Yes. Wonderful county. When I'm around and people talk about Fort Bend County, I call it paradise. Oh, yeah. It's paradise. Oh, yeah. It's a place where all of God's people can live together in peace and harmony. We all have a caring and committed spirit. We all care and love about Fort Bend County. You don't hear anybody anywhere else in the state of Texas bragging about living in Swisher County or Jefferson County. Fort Bend County is special. God has really blessed us. It's up to us. Just like our young poet talked about the seed and it growing, we need to take this seed, plant it, and grow it into something that's amazing. I know you can do it. I want all of you, by show of hands, tell me that you're going to make this place a better place, and this is going to be the incident that's going to make you do better and make this a place that we all can be proud of. Amen? Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I will invite our state representative, Reginald, and he is also a person who there is no path and like to leave a trail, and so he's been an advocate for Sugar Line 95 and so many other, the long list. I will invite Ron to make a remark.
Thank you. Let's give Judge K.P. George a big round of applause for his visionary leadership. You know, like Commissioner Grady Prestige, I stand here in awe. And I'm reminded of words that Dr. King made many years ago, where he said, the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And as we think about this monumental event today and the monumental event yesterday where President Biden signed the official holiday of Juneteenth, I think about how far we've come. Even here in Fort Bend County, Barbara, as we think just in this area about the Jaybird Woodpecker feud, that it was a war where literally black people were ran out of this county that had made strides. And when you think about the great diversity that we have, I know we stand on the shoulder of giants. I know we stand on the shoulders of people who made tremendous sacrifices for the freedoms and privileges and liberties that we enjoy today. And I'm just so blessed to be standing on their shoulders as the first African-American state representative in Fort Bend County since Reconstruction. Commissioner Prestige, the first African-American commissioner since Reconstruction. The DA, Brian Middleton. The Sheriff, Eric Fagan. our county attorney. Give them all a round of applause. These are people who are public servants that are making history. And we celebrate today because of their sacrifices. We celebrate, and we know, even though as we celebrate the successes that we have today, we know that the struggle is not over. We know that we still have to fight for voting rights. We still have to fight for equality. But I know because of the leadership and the diversity in Fort Bend County, we're the model. And finally, I just want to say, I know my dear former colleague and fraternity brother, Al Edwards, state representative, who made this all possible, who really was the pioneer and the visionary leader when people were laughing at him. What do you mean you want to make Juneteenth a holiday? It was a crusade, and he made that his life's work. And Uncle Dave, I know your brother's smiling in heaven today. I know he's smiling because his vision came to fruition across this country. I remember going outside of Texas and people said, I'd never heard of Juneteenth. Well, everybody will be thankful for Texas and Juneteenth. And finally, Reginald Moore. Miss Moore, she came to me in Austin when I got a chance to honor him. This man made it his life's work. He was our Fort Bend, civil rights leader who really, as KP George said, elevated the rights of those who had been forgotten in the Sugar Land 95. And he fought and he did everything he could to make sure that we preserve that. And I'm so grateful that on Juneteenth, on tomorrow, they're going to have a celebration honoring the Sugar Land 95 on Juneteenth. So thank you, Judge George, and everyone who made this possible. God bless you.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say there are so many dignitaries, so many elected officials behind me. And like I said, we are going to make this event a short event, and I really appreciate each and every one of you coming and being part of it. As you can see, one thing, we celebrate our diversity and we learn from our history. We are not going to make the mistake we made in the past. And that is the promise to you from me and my office. And once again, thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. And this concludes this morning's presentation. Thank you.
Great job, Tammy. Y'all
Very good. How are you? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Oh, I know. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Awesome. All right. So y'all, this is all of the Pendleton delegation, or is there more? Okay, all right. Hey.
Hi, Subby.
How are you? How you doing?
Are you my friend?
Hi. Okay, very nice to meet you. Thank you.
That's my buddy, man. I will. Yes, sir. Well,